Hi, I'm Martin Felsen. Welcome to CityDesign, the channel where we explore how we shape cities and how cities shape us. Today's question is, how do we sell the city of the future? I'll start with a personal experience that loops back to this question. When I was a kid, Saturday mornings meant one thing: cartoons. My brothers and I were glued to the screen, and no show shaped how we imagined the soon-to-be future more than the Jetsons. For many people, the Jetsons defined what the future was supposed to look like. It introduced us to video calls, smartwatches, and push-button lifestyles, and it projected a future with flying cars and jetpacks, which still haven't arrived. Even now, decades later, the Jetsons remain a cultural shorthand for the future. Search the news today, and you'll probably find someone referencing the Jetsons, either amazed by what it got right or joking about what it didn't. The original series aired for just one season in 1962, only 24 episodes, but they ran on repeat for decades. Then came the reboot in the 80s, after I was a young kid. Together, the original and the reboot helped shape the worldview of multiple generations, including people now making decisions about our actual future. These constant reruns create more than nostalgia, they create expectation. The Jetsons didn't feel like a possible future, it felt like a promised one. And when that promise didn't fully materialize, we were left with a curious feeling, a kind of longing for a future that never quite arrived. Before the Jetsons animated the future, even before television and long before the internet, how did Americans imagine what tomorrow might look like? One answer: World's Fairs. Unlike cartoons, World's Fairs have to be built. You can walk through them, touch them, and experience their version of a utopian future, even if only for a day. They were like temporary cities of tomorrow, designed to inspire and to sell products, lifestyles, even entire worldviews. Let's look at the Columbian World's Exposition in Chicago in 1893. It drew over 27 million visitors. That's more than 40% of the US population at the time. The fair introduced the first Ferris wheel, the first fully electric kitchen, the first moving walkway. And from an urban design perspective, it launched the City Beautiful movement, a push for monumental civic spaces with grand boulevards, neoclassic buildings, and public art. Think of the National Mall in Washington, D.C., or early 20th century downtowns with sweeping streetscapes and ornate city halls. World's Fairs marketed optimistic futurism. In the early 20th century, as America embraced new energy and communication technologies, several fairs put modern gadgets on display. Telephones, cars, airplanes, radios, washing machines, x-rays. Technology wasn't just useful, it was visionary. But nothing captured that vision quite like the New York World's Fair of 1939. This was the moment when the future wasn't just something to see, it was something to believe in, something to invest in. At the heart of it was an exhibition titled Futurama. Sponsored by General Motors, Futurama offered a vision of America 20 years into the future, America of 1960. A sleek, efficient world powered by technology, highways, and functionally planned cities. Visitors sat in chairs on a slow-moving conveyor ride. Over a span of 18 minutes, 550 people at a time glided past a massive animated model of the future. It featured 500,000 buildings, 1 million trees, 50,000 cars, and a 14-lane highway slicing across the landscape. It wasn't just a model, it was a sales pitch, a dream of endless mobility, wide open space, suburban office parks, residential subdivisions, and high-speed commutes. A world where the car was omnipresent and cities adapted to serve its every need. The message was clear. To enjoy tomorrow, we had to invest in highways today. Futurama echoed the thinking of Le Corbusier, the visionary modernist architect. Before highways even existed, he imagined a world where people lived far from cities, surrounded by nature, happily commuting back and forth each day. He said, "We'll wear out tires, burn gasoline, and keep everyone employed." Over 100 years ago, this was his vision of progress. Futurama didn't just shape imaginations, it shaped policy. Less than 20 years after the fair, America doubled down on cars, roads, and suburban expansion. The Interstate Highway Act made that vision real with massive federal taxpayer funding. And Futurama's legacy endures, not just in infrastructure, but in pop culture. Decades later, the animated show Futurama picked up where the Jetsons left off, mixing satire with sci-fi to imagine yet another version of the future. Which raises an interesting question. What if these kinds of TV shows imagine the future differently? Can speculative fiction offer new models for civic life? For example, what if the Jetsons' home wasn't a private pod in the sky, but part of a vibrant vertical city? Would we still associate isolation with progress? What if robots weren't domestic servants, but collaborative partners? Would we view AI with the same fears today? How we visualize and market the future shapes how we build it. Even fictional worlds affect our expectations, our investments, and our politics. We may never predict the future with certainty, but the stories we tell about the future will shape what's possible. Today's stories center on AI and its role in shaping what we call smart cities. I'll explore these ideas and how they're being marketed in future episodes. For now, thanks for watching City Design. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and support. See you next episode.